Everything is marketing. Your profit is directly connected to how many appointments you book and sales you make. If your business is struggling to make money, it's because of poor marketing. So in this video, I will show you my 8 favorite marketing strategies that I've used across my companies and you can use as well for your own agency or your clients to instantly increase the profit. And strategy number 1 is all about the angel and the perspective, because every single product or service has different angels. You can, for example, position your product in a way that it helps people to save time, make them more money, relieve stress, or avoid certain things. And most people just present their product in the most obvious way. If you, for example, sell lead gen services, then most people just present the lead gen services in a way that it helps them make more money. So it gets them X amount more leads and X amount more money. But you can also position your service in a way that it helps them to avoid certain things. For example, lead gen services help them avoid doing cold calls or other stuff that they don't want to do. So make sure to write down all the different angels your product has and figure out which angel makes most sense for your niche, because in certain niches, different angels make more sense. If you, for example, work with really big companies, it usually makes sense to present your product in a way that it helps them to save time so they can be more productive and make more money on their own. If you work with smaller companies, it could make sense to present your product in a way that it helps them to make more money because they only care about making money at this stage. And if you work with solopreneurs, so people who are alone, have like a really, really small team, then it could make sense to present your product in a way that it helps them relieve some stress or avoid doing things which they don't like in their current business. So always figure out which angel makes most sense for your niche. And you can also use different angels for different target groups and across different channels in your business. So if you, for example, target multiple niches, for example, you target bigger companies, smaller companies, and different sub-niches of your main niche, you can also sell the same product, but position it completely different for all of these different niches. And you can also present your product differently on the different channels. On YouTube, you can, for example, present your service in a different way than you do on Instagram, because people who come from Instagram, they look for different stuff than people who actively search for a solution on YouTube. So be aware of this, figure out all the different angels there are for each product, and make sure to figure out which angel is the best one and how you can position it most effectively for your niche and also across the different channels you're using for client acquisition. Strategy number 2 is a YouTube strategy that I've been using for a long time now. And it's all about having one main VSL or one main selling video, which you use to sell them on a certain idea or a certain topic. So this video basically helps your target audience to understand what the problem is, makes them problem aware, and then also sells them on your service, on your product, and shows trust, shows testimonials, and then funnels them into booking a call. And this video should be crafted with a lot of thought energy, and this video needs to be perfected, because if you have one main video on your channel, then you can basically just create all the other videos as funnel videos around the main video. So this is what I've been doing. I have one main video in which I basically show people what the best business model for starting out and for scaling businesses is. And this is the video where I also sell people on the idea of what I do. So on the idea of the SBA model, I show them how it works. I walk them through the steps and then give them the call to action to book a call with me at the end. And all the other videos, this video as well, are around this video. So all the other videos are just to gain views and funnel people into the main video, which then funnels them onto booking a call with me. So it makes a lot of sense to have one main selling video, which is crafted in a way that it's super high converting, and then just use all the other videos to funnel them towards the main selling video and not towards your calendar. Right, I've tested it. It works really, really well in most niches, especially like the info product and the agency space. And on your main VSL video, there either could be the call to action to then book a call with you, or if you sell info products or stuff like this, there could be the call to action to immediately go to the checkout page. The next strategy includes a freebie, so something you give out for free, and then make sure that people book a call with you. Especially in the agency space, freebies are super, super powerful, not only for your own agency, but also for your clients. So you can create freebie for your clients so they get more leads through the freebie. And this strategy is called freebie awareness. I'm not sure if this exists or if I'm the first person doing this, but it's all about structuring your freebie in a way that it makes them, first of all, problem aware. Then it makes them solution aware and also gives them all the free value, which you promise in your freebie, and then has a no-brainer call to action, which then funnels them onto booking a call with you. And this freebie could be a calculator, a tool, or even a PDF. It's just important to have these 3 steps in it. So first of all, making them problem aware. For example, hey, Science, you requested this freebie. I know for sure that you have this, this, and this problem. Then we also want to show them why the problem even shows up. So what is the root cause for the problem? Then we want to give them pieces of the solution. So we don't want to reveal the full solution, but we want to give them some ideas and some bullet points on how they can solve the problem on their own. Not enough for them to do it on their own, but enough for them to feel like that the freebie was actually worth signing up for. And then you also, and lastly, you include a no-brainer call to action. So a call to action, which is a no-brainer to follow to basically book a call with you or jump onto the next step. If you, for example, build a calculator, the idea and the mechanism behind this freebie could be that you first of all make them aware of that solar companies lose a lot of money because of old and dead leads. Then the solution could be basically having a calculator where they can put in their own numbers and see how much money they're currently losing because of having this problem. And then the call to action could be, hey, if you want to figure out how you can recover this lost revenue, and then there's basically just like a field where it shows the revenue that they currently lose, then book a call with us so we can help you to implement strategies to get rid of this. So the structure is always the same. It depends a bit on if you build a calculator, if you build like a tool or just a general PDF. But if you follow the structure, you should be able to convert a lot of people who request a freebie into a booked call, because if you make them problem aware, they know they have a problem. If you make them solution aware, they know that there is a solution and they even trust you that you can help them solve it. And with the no-brainer call to action, it's basically not hard for them to say yes to the next step. Marketing strategy number 4 is called signal-based outreach. And this is one of the most powerful things I've been doing across the last months and years. And it's all about creating content, not with the goal of funneling people onto booking a call with you, but just to trigger different signals you can then use for reaching out to them. So what I've been doing is I've been creating 15 to 20 reels per month, which I just cross-post across different channels. In my case, I cross-post them across LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and also TikTok. To be honest, TikTok is something you do not really have to do because it doesn't really make sense for most audiences, but you can still do it. So when uploading these reels, the only goal you have is to basically reach a lot of people and get a lot of impressions, so people like, comment, and also connect with you. So the goal here is not to make sure that they book a call. I always have the call to action of booking a call with me in the bio, but the goal you have is basically just to create such a unique and interesting content piece that they watch it, share it, comment, and also like. Because then you can just go through your likes and comments once a day and just reach out to all of those people with, for example, the following message. So, hey, name, what's up? Just saw that you viewed my profile, already signed your first client. So we want to acknowledge that they viewed our profile or that they interacted with a content piece, and then we just want to ask a question, which basically then transition into a natural conversation, and then it allows us to basically talk with them, figure out what the pain points are, and then eventually convert them into a booked call. And you see, even with only 200 impressions, you can get a lot of likes and a lot of comments. And 10 likes and comments are more than enough to book at least 2 to 3 calls out of that. Especially if your content is really targeted, you should be able to only attract people who are inside your target audience. So it's pretty easy to convert people who engage with your content into a booked call. So as I said, make sure to cross-post your reels across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and then go for the people who comment or like and just reach out to them. The next marketing strategy is about pricing, and this is called agency rollover. This is especially powerful if you have a high-priced agency service, and this is all about offering your client a discount if they move away from their current agency and basically join you. Because the most common objection you will get in the agency space is that they are already working with somebody. But in most of the cases, they are not really satisfied and they would like to switch, especially if they believe that you can get better results for them. But they cannot switch because they paid for them and they still need to pay for the next 2 to 3 months. So what you can offer these people is that you basically discount them what they already paid to the other agency. So if they paid the other agency 3K USD and your offer costs 2.5K per month, then you can just offer your client that he only has to pay 1.5K for the first 3 months. Because then you basically discount what he already paid this other agency and he only pays what's left to you. And this is super, super powerful because you get a lot of people who got bad results from their current agency sign up on this offer because they basically get discounted what they already paid. So you can convert a lot of people who would never sign up because they're already working with somebody if you offer them such an offer. The next strategy is super powerful if you have some kind of checkout page on your website. So if you either run a shop, you have an info product, or you sell a low-ticket product before you upsell them into an agency service. And here you want to make sure that you collect their opt-in before the checkout page. Because usually people just get redirected to the checkout page, and if they then fill out their information, they then get nurtured into the next offer. But so many people visit your checkout page, they maybe even start filling out the details, but they never go through with everything and never do the checkout because something was in the way, their card was declined, or something like this. So we want to make sure that we capture their details before they even attempt the checkout, so we can make sure that they close and buy even if they don't go through with the full checkout. So you want to have a form where you ask for the name, the mail address, and also their phone number before you even redirect them to the checkout. Once they fill this out and click on next, then there could be the checkout. And if they visit the page but don't fill it out, you at least have their contact details so you can retarget them and you can reach out to them again in order to make sure that they go through with the checkout and buy whatever you offer. All right, so if they don't do the checkout, there should be 3 to 5 checkout emails which nurture them and make sure that you ask them about what the objection was and then try to close them. If just 10 to 15% do the checkout because of these mails, you already increased your profit by a lot, right? The next strategy is pre-handling the objections in the marketing already. Most people just have a Calendly link either on their website or during the outreach, and then they try to pre-handle all the objections during the sales call. But you can pre-handle and sell them so much before even hopping on a call with them. So what I have on my calendar booking form is that after they filled out the form and after they booked the call, there is a pre-call video, and below the pre-call video, I answer the most common questions before even hopping on the call with them. And these are 30 seconds to 1 minute short videos in which I just pre-handle the most common objections they have. Right? These are the most common objections that I usually get. And just make sure to figure out which objections you usually get, and then record 30 seconds to 1 minute short videos where you just pre-handle the objection. So where you just tell them why this is not a real objection, where you just reframe them in a way that this objection does not even appear on the sales call anymore. Make sure to put all of these videos below your after call booking page so that they can watch all of these videos before the call and go into the call without having any objections. This will not only increase your show up rate, but it will also make sure that people are much more sold before even hopping on the call and have way less objections. And the last marketing strategy is to create scarcity and urgency, but in a human-like and real way. Here we want to make sure to not lie, but be brutally honest, because most people use scarcity and urgency just to get them to make a decision. But what you can do, especially as an agency, is you can either tell them that this offer is only available for a limited of time, or that you only have limited spots per month. Especially when running an agency, you can tell them that you only take on X amount new clients per month, because you cannot take on more than 5 to 10 new clients per month. And if you tell this to your client, it will instantly make them more aware of making a decision. Because even if you only sign 1 new client per month, if you tell your client that you only take on 5, they immediately believe that they have to be faster with their decision to basically grab one of these spots. And if you have like a website offer, you can also add this little box right here at the top where it basically says, hey, 50 spots at 80% off. This offer ends in X amount of time. And there are only 10 left, so 40 got already claimed. So this would be a mix of limited time and limited spots, but especially as an agency, it makes a lot of sense, as I said, to make them aware of how many new clients you onboard per month, or even tell them in the sales call at the end, hey, if you make a decision now, it will be 10% less. If you make the decision after the call, it will be 10% more expensive. Because with this trick, you can basically make sure that more people close on the call. And if they close after the call, they just have to pay a bit more. But yeah, these were all the marketing strategies that I've been using across the last years, across all of my companies. You can either use them for your own agency, for your own business, or you can also use them for your clients. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure to check out the link below this video where I show you the full breakdown of how I have scaled more than 170 agencies in the last months to 10 or 20K a month. And see you in the next one.